Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Lord Duncan's Rock and World. Today we've got a very special guest, a Mr. GEEP Baranow, all the way up from Alaska. I forget the exact city, but we will get him on right now. He is a music extraordinaire, also a music teacher of a few decades, and an old friend of mine from the old Augsburg days in the late 80s down here in Minneapolis. So let's bring on good old GEEP Baranow. A round of applause, please. Ladies and gentlemen, there he is, Mr. GEEP Baranow. And a round of applause, everyone. Thank you very much for watching today. And I forgot, I mentioned you're from Alaska, but I forget the city.
Eagle River, Lord Duncan. Eagle River.
Hail. And also Hail Maiden. We happen to be wearing Maiden shirts. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
I got to tell you, I believe between you and Eric Hauer are the ones that really got me into Iron Maiden. I didn't listen to them in high school at all. I didn't have any of their music. I remember I heard Number of the Beast in his little, he had that little Z, that Mazda Z, whatever, those really fast sports cars that they got speeding tickets in. Those Mazdas, the RX-7s or whatever they were. And he had a loud system. He would play Number of the Beast. And then, of course, once I was invited to essentially live at 1303, hearing Maiden on a daily basis, they became my favorite metal band of all time. So thank you for that big time, GP.
That's it.
And you went to Augsburg just because you also had a hockey scholarship, I believe, correct?
Oh, well, they didn't have scholarships for Division III schools, but
that
was my original goal. Strangely enough, I don't know if you even knew this story. My parents took me down the Alaska Highway. It's 3,482 miles to Minneapolis from here.
Wow.
And yeah, no doubt. And we got to Concordia. When we left, I didn't even know where I was going to school. I'd been accepted at Concordia in Moorhead, and then also at Augsburg. So drove on down, and got to Concordia. Kind of checked it out. It was Concordia. Moorhead is Moorhead. And then we came in on to check out Augsburg, and came in on Lake Street. My mom was not impressed.
Oh, Lake Street, ladies and gentlemen, who aren't from Minneapolis or Minnesota, Lake Street is is like the Colfax Avenue in Denver, or it's one of the shadier streets with lots of ugly buildings and, so I would say, ugly people, just to put it bluntly, lightly.
Kind way, very kind.
Not saying anything about race or anything, but it's not. It's scary if you're from out of town. Put it that way.
It was definitely different than what we've got here in Alaska. And then I got there, and we checked out the campus, and okay, where do you want to go to school? And I was just tired of driving for that long, and so this is where I'm going. This is it. And that's kind of how I ended up at Augsburg. I was going to play hockey in both programs, and I ended up I was skating for a bit in Augsburg, or in Minneapolis. It's kind of fun.
That's awesome. I think I went there because I couldn't get in the other schools because my grades. Augsburg obviously wasn't as strict as Gustavus.
Gag.
Which is ironic because when I lived in St. Peter, I actually lived like kitty corner from the campus of Gustavus. How many, 35 years later, from 88 to 2017, whatever the math is on that, whatever. But let me get to my little questionnaire form here that I give for everybody, and I'll move it along here. You're from Alaska. What kind of heritage do you have? Do you have any kind of Alaskan heritage or Russian?
I do not, but I am a mutt, as pretty much all of us are on the dad's side. I'm English and Scottish from my grandfather, and then also a quarter or an eighth Irish. So 16th, then 8th, and then my mom on her side, she's I've also got Lithuanian and Czechia. So and some Hungary thrown in there as well. And I'm also German. So those are my
There you go, dude.
melting pot.
Sure.
Is what it is.
Well, I think the German in you is probably what gave you all your musical talent, probably.
Yeah. Maybe.
Dude, you
Town musicians. That's my mom.
All right,
she would always sing when I was a little kid. So that's our family's pretty musical.
Now, I know your favorite music being, as far as the stuff we used to listen to, like, say, Maiden, anything from Maiden to John Denver, Gordon Lightfoot, probably Queensryche, The Lady Wore Black, and what else?
Rush.
Any other favorite music years that I wouldn't know about?
Let's see.
Obviously, Rush. Remember one day we listened to every single Rush album from beginning to end, all back-to-back records. It took like 10, 11 hours.
Yeah, I do that frequently. Probably once every 3 months, I would break out the catalog and go for it all.
Nice.
Good.
It's
good
a lot more now since then.
Oh, yes. It's a couple-day event.
I'm a little disappointed with the Live in Cleveland because they're using that autocorrect on Getty's voice. And it sounds like he's crying all the time. He sounds like he's crying. Well, because his voice doesn't reach certain times, and then when they bring it up, it's like, so it sounds like he's crying the whole time he's singing. Yeah, that Live in Cleveland, yeah, his vocals are done at that point. I would have rather heard him sing slightly out of tune than have that damn autocorrect shit on there. You know what I mean?
I'm not a fan of that as well. At all.
Okay, how about what's your favorite food and or any kind of maybe guilty pleasure junk food?
I like pretzels a lot. Those pretzels are making me thirsty. I like pretzels.
Dude, me too.
Like
how about
pretzels.
The pretzels?
Don't eat too much goofiness, although I like a good cookie, and anything with peanut butter is good. Anything.
Speaking of, I was going to say, have you tried those pretzels that have the peanut butter inside of them?
Oh, yes.
Those are freaking
horrible. And
of course, my dog is like, those are dog treats. You can't be eating those. Those are mine.
Yeah, I'm a big peanut butter guy. I eat it straight. I just love peanut butter.
I hear you there, dude. Hell yeah. Any dream vacations coming up, or when you want to go on, or any vacation nightmares you may want to mention?
Well, upcoming stuff. We just got back. I retired from teaching 30 years. Yay! Oh, hey, actually, I should have mentioned that. As long as I should have mentioned that. You were asking about music stuff I don't know about. Lots of classical music, but I've been listening a lot to a guy named Ludovico Einaudi. He's an Italian pianist. Check him out. Kind of really naked classical style, but it's not. It's like a Wyndham Hill New Age sort of.
Anyway, like the guy in Monty Python who plays the piano naked.
Oh yeah. Oh. Anyway, back to the vacation stuff. I just got back from a 2.5 month stint down driving the Alaska Highway. We tried to go all the way to Newfoundland, down to Key West, and then over to Baja, California, and up the Big Square.
Even after coming all the way down here last summer, you're gonna do that whole loop. Holy shit!
That was where we were going, but then we ended up getting stymied by the forest fires in Canada, which I guess are starting up for you guys again now.
I'm looking at the smoke over my lake right now, dude. In fact, I'm not even letting the dog out today because I can smell it and you can feel it in your lungs within 20 minutes.
Oh, what a bummer! That sucks. It was really lame driving through there. Couldn't see very well, and so we were disappointed. We ended up bailing, spending a week or two in Banff and Jasper, and especially Jasper. What a hoot that was in Alberta! Lots of fun.
I've been to Banff. Banff, and what was it? Lake
Louise.
Lake Louise. I've been out there. It's freaking awesome.
Just amazing time.
Did you go on the gondola all the way up? There's like a gondola you go up and you see mountain goats, and there's there's a big restaurant up at the top.
But we did take we actually did take one of those in what wasn't Banff? It was Jasper. It had to be. Yeah, it was Jasper. We took one up there and then hiked up the rest of the mountain. Saw lots of stuff. That was such a great trip. And my lady, being the nurse that she is, she's as on and off schedule. So we'd be there 2 weeks and then drive to the nearest airport, drop her off. She'd come home work. I'd be off for 2 weeks myself, and then wherever I was, she'd fly down to meet me. That's why we got to go down and see you in the Twin Cities. Came down into Idaho after being in Banff, and dropped her off in Seattle, drove over and picked you up, then drove back to Oregon and going to San Francisco and picking her up, and just, it was crazy. Lots of stuff.
Did she ever notice that little thing on the side of your vehicle? Did you ever notice that little scratch?
Oh, you come clean. I mentioned it right away.
All right.
Come clean. Always the best policy. Come clean.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Immediately. And she's like, no problem.
It wasn't a dent, at least. At least it was just a scratch.
Yeah. For those of you who aren't aware, I was lucky enough to see Lord Duncan in person, in the flesh, if you will, down in Minneapolis. Not Minneapolis, but up where he lives, outside. And trying to squeeze my trailer in there. I got it. It's good. Okay, not good. Oh,
I did the same thing with my boat, dude. I'm thinking I might cut that tree down just because I'm sick of that damn tree. How about golf or bowling? Probably not a lot of golf courses in Alaska.
We have, I think, 7 golf courses. Most of them, the bigger ones, are just opening up. We've got 2 of them. I went out once. We had pretty nice greens on one of them, but most of the courses aren't open all the way yet. You can't take carts out or anything. But we also have some modified courses. We've got some that have AstroTurf greens, little dinky places in the holes here. They change farms and create their own.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. They're probably half a dozen 9-hole courses, and then I think there are 7 18-hole courses. I happen to work at the northernmost, or at least it used to be, 36-hole facility in the world. Yeah, at least it was. No,
so I assume you prefer that over bowling then.
Yes, I used to play bowling.
I'd rather be outdoors like I would,
Oh yeah. You don't get paid squat, but that's all right. Whatever. You don't need to get paid squat. You just get free golf.
There you go. Which is priceless.
Which is priceless.
What was your first car?
Oh, well, the first family car was the Red Beast. That was a little red Subaru that I had that I drove, and that
was before your cool little gold truck, right?
Yep, that was right before that. And unfortunately, they got the gold truck because, well, that's where I learned my policy of making sure you come clean. That was where I probably got that part of it from. My mom had told me not to go into the water. We were going boating with my buddies. It was an overnight beer drinking fest out at Beach Lake out here, and hilarious. Of course, being kids, it's great. We're gonna, don't go in the water. We don't want you to. If you're drinking, we don't want you to drown or anything. Okay, Mom, I promise I won't go in the water. Of course, we have a few beers, get out in the water, and there's this one guy named Bubba that was there, and he was a very large man, very large kid at the time, and we couldn't have made it 30 feet out, and canoe tipped over, and we all fell in. Well, built a big fire, started slamming, hung my pants up to dry overnight over the fire. Ended up drinking way too much. And I think they had a bottle of vodka there too. I'm not, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
anyway,
that doesn't help.
Yeah, woke up in the middle of the night. I'm sleeping in the back of the car. The car got covered in vomit and Horrible, terrible. I woke up the next morning, reeked in the car. It was terrible. And I went to go put my pants on, and there was a hole about this big in the inside of the leg. My nutsack was hanging part way out.
Oh no.
And then I had to drive home, and my mom was waiting for me, and she just pointed to the shower, and she's just like, get in there. And I was so messed up still. I was stupid when I was younger. I was in the, I ended up staying in the shower for, I don't know, 45 minutes. And when my mom finally woke me up, it had already, all the water was gone. It was cold. It still didn't wake me up. I'm laying on this, or sitting on the side. Got in really bad trouble for that. But
that's insane, dude, I just did all of that last week.
There you go.
Just kidding.
But after cleaning that up, she made me clean that up. And right after that, I got the new car. And of course, that never happened again. You didn't,
right?
You know, you
don't make that. I was a cabbie in Denver. I had somebody puke all over the back of the car. No, actually, it sounds like a joke, but I had an Englishman, an Irishman, and an American in the car. The Irishman was in the middle, American on one left, and an Irishman on the back in their back seat. We're going down I-70. They're all fucking hammered. Those back windows on those Caprices would only go halfway down because they used to be cop cars. So the guy's like, roll the window down. I'm gonna fucking puke. Well, we're doing 70 on I-70. So when he projectile puked out the window, all that wind blew it all back in, all over him and his buddies. Then the guy on the other end of the cab, he started fucking just puking all over the floor. So needless to say, when we finally got, meanwhile the Irishman just sat there like this, shaking his head. The Irishman's just like, can't believe I went out with these two fucking amateurs. When I got to the hotel, they gave me an extra $100. So whatever. And then I went back and I parked the cab in the lot and didn't say anything to anybody and said, no, I don't want that cab anymore. And it must have sat in that lot for 2 or 3 days before anybody discovered it.
Oh no!
I think they lost track of who had last used it, so I never got blamed. But you know that thing had to reek after it sat there festering for 2 or 3 days in the heat.
It had to have been horrible. It was bad for me. It was only a couple hours later.
Wow! And then that truck. Didn't you guys go down to New Mexico in that truck, and that's where you found your tarantula, Nicky Wicked?
Nicola. That's a story.
Nice. A free tarantula, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty awesome.
We had that was a great trip, actually. We all went, and there were 4 people jammed into that truck. Some people had to ride in the back.
There was like a little room behind the seats, right? In the back.
It was only one. It was just a 2-seater. We had to all ride in the back, but it had a topper on it, of course. But
so 2 people were rode in back and 2 people were in the front. Okay.
Exactly.
And at least I remember it being carpeted.
Yeah, it was carpeted, so it wasn't that bad. But I mean, you were
right,
kind of lounging back there.
But it wasn't a big truck, though. It's not like the ones we got nowadays.
No, it wasn't like that at all.
A little Toyota, right?
And we stopped in. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. No, I'm pretty sure that it would have been a Ford. It was Gary's truck. It was Henry's brother's truck. So I bet you it was a bit. I bet you it was
probably Ford. That or a Chevy, either one.
But we stopped in Vegas, and those guys were all old enough. And I'd been there when I was a kid, circus, and you play video games while mom and dad are in the casino. And so I'm in there.
20 or what?
I was only 20, and I took a friend of ours. I'll just say that. You know who I'm probably referring to. I had an ID from her brother that said it was 26 or some ridiculous thing. Anyway, I went in there and I was just playing quarter slots, but I ended up winning. And it wasn't that much money. I think it was like $180 or something. But it was back in the time when the money actually came out of the machine. It was quarters. So
right.
There's more than 500 quarters just shooting out. And I'm going, oh my God, there's money. And then I'm looking around. Now I get paranoid. Of course, there's all this noise because this thing is shooting out cash. And I grab these 2 big giant cups of quarters and let's go, guys. We gotta go. We gotta go now. We gotta go. Let's go. Let's go right now. I was afraid I was gonna get busted, so took off.
Right. I don't think they even ID for anything under 1,000, probably.
Yeah, well, probably not, but I learned my lesson there too. Never went back. Of course, 6 months later, then I was 21. So, oh, to be young and dumb.
The only time I ever went to Vegas was with my band, Sons of Disobedience, and I only lost $5 on a slot machine in the little dirty punk rock dive bar called the Double Down Saloon. Now, like, once I lost $5, I'm like, yeah, that's enough. I played. I think it was a stupid little video card game, but I lost $5 in Vegas. Whatever.
Yeah.
How about first job or any kind of shit job that you hated and or were happy to be fired from or quit? Like something you really didn't care for, and that, or the boss was a dick, or something like to that effect.
Well, there were a couple of jobs.
My current boss, da 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 da. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I'm doing it now. I had to have been. Maybe it was the summer after I graduated, right before I went down to school. I got a really great job, which I thought was a really great job, out in Denali National Park. There's a lake at the very end of the road, well, close to the end of the road, Wonder Lake, that's a really popular spot. And then farther out than that, there's a little camp called Kantishna. And the people that I was working for had bought land in there, in the edge of that public use, or public not use, but private. It was private land in there, all around, within all the public area. Anyway, I digress there. And we were building a new resort, and it was from scratch. Like, we had to reroute a creek and build the road to get back there, and put the foundation, big pits. It was great. You made good money, and you worked kick-ass hours. You just woke up in the morning and worked. And then when you were done, you went to sleep in these tents that they had for you. And you woke up the next day, 7 days a week. You were working 16, 17-hour days and just sleeping.
You did not have trouble. You did not have trouble falling asleep at all.
No, not at all. But the problem was, even though they helicoptered in all this food and it was all you could eat and doing all this stuff, you couldn't stop. You couldn't take a day off. You just working and working. So I was making good money, but after 6-8 weeks, and you don't have any days off.
I need goddamn 1 day off before I kill somebody. Yeah.
Right. And that was what was starting to happen. People were missing hammers and, hitting their thumbs, and things were off kilter, and we had to replace some toilets again because they weren't sealed, and it started to become a problem. So they gave
all that because the builder was trying to save a buck.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And they wanted it done.
Probably against the law too. I bet that was against the law, dude.
Oh, well, for the work part of it, oh yeah, for sure. But
and what was his name? We'll get him busted now.
It was the one night we ended up getting out of there. They just said, "Hey, you guys take off." It was 6:00 at night, and of course it's Alaska, so it's light all night. So you didn't have any particular time that you would stop. Sometimes we would work until after midnight. Well, we stopped at 6 p.m. and we walked back to that Kantishna Roadhouse, and we hadn't had beers in 2 months. So we stopped at that bar and got beer. And it was the biggest beer expenditure of my life. For a case of beer, they just sold it to us at bar cost, which was cheap back then. $72 a case, $3 a beer. And by the time we got carrying it, by the time we got back to camp, it was there were only like 8 beers left. There were 3 of us, and we just drank. But it was great. That job sucked though, because you couldn't leave. There was no way to leave.
Because if they got a helicopter shit in, you're literally you're fucking like
about 85 miles into the park.
Like a slave encampment. Yeah,
it was. Well, luckily, my mom and dad later on, they drove out to kind of check on us. My brother was out there working with us too, and I just said I was sick, and so they let us take. That was the end of my job there. So that sucked. That working like that, and the other job that was really bad. After that, the next 3 years, I worked here in a salmon processing plant. Will not eat pink salmon from a can. Don't even bother.
Oh, hell no. I think it's gross anyway.
Not happening.
It's got to be grilled or smoked, right? You can eat that shit.
Yeah, it was.
What about sushi in a sushi place? Could you do salmon then?
Oh yeah. Oh, I love salmon. I love red salmon and king
Not
salmon.
out of a can though.
But no, because when you get those pink salmon, and you're a grader, there's all sorts of different jobs, headers and slimers and spoon, this bloodline scrapers, and there's all sorts of stuff that you do. But if you're lucky enough to be a grader, then when the fish are done being processed, you take the finished fish and you decide which tote it's going to go in. Is it a number one? It's perfect. You can put it on a platter, and those are the fresh fish that you see in the supermarkets. They're beautiful. Or a number two, it's got some damage, and maybe there's some bite marks on it, or there's whatever. The meat it's been sitting in that tote for a while. Or a number threes were easy because you stuck your nose in there, and if it made you want to puke, that was a number three.
And what does that become? Does that become cat food?
That becomes, for the pinks, all the pinks that they got were only number twos and number threes. That's it. There were no number ones. It was all twos and threes. So the job of the grader was to take your salmon and take a big sniff. And if you felt like puking, well, that one goes into the three. Otherwise, they go into the two.
Oh, you say pink versus like red.
Pink, right. Pink salmon.
Okay.
That's what they would make the canned salmon out of. All the pink salmon that goes for canning.
Oh. But then the kind that makes you want to puke. That's probably what for cats.
I'm not sure what
they would can that too.
Yeah, they tried. It was definitely used, but oh man, just even the number two it was horrible, just awful.
Oh, well, everything makes me want to puke, so I just throw it on 2 or 3. There you go.
It was horrible.
Wow.
Terrible conditions too. I mean, you got 15-minute it was on the clock. They had a little sound that went off. You worked 2 hours straight, and then you had 15 minutes. But that 15 minutes, when it went off, you had to take your apron off, and you had to get your gloves off and iodine your hands. It was mandatory. Then you had to run out and quick smoke a bowl with the guys out in the parking lot. Then you came back and had to get all that stuff back on, and you get all ready. Conveyor belt starts going again. It's 15 minutes.
I had a job like that in a call center where if you were literally 1 second over, it would be a write-up.
Yeah, it was.
Even awful. If you're 1 second late, it was a write-up. Talk about brutal. But as far as grossest, mine was shoveling matted down horse manure, like a couple months worth of matted down horse manure that's matted down with disgusting wet moldy hay and burrowing rats on the sides. There were rats on the sides of the walls burrowing in little tunnels of it. That was freaking bad. After the first 2 hours of gagging, I finally got used to the smell, but that was my worst one, which I've already mentioned in probably 3 other episodes of the show, but whatever. Okay, how about you got any pets or tattoos?
I have some tats. I've got some tats. No pets. I just that's funny you mentioned the pets. I was going through a big box. It's Mother's Day today. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Yeah. I lost my mom 5 years ago, and I was just
me too. I lost mine in 2019.
Yep, me too.
Well, give or take a year, then whatever. But
just was looking at some pictures today, and there was a picture she had given me of my dog when I was a little boy. His name was Boss, a little terrier poo that we just happened to find and kept there. There wasn't anybody that hardly lived here in those days. So that was it for pets. And besides the tarantula, I had a cat for a few months one time. That didn't work out so well.
I remember.
Yeah, I came home for the Christmas holidays and relied on my roommates and buddies to take care of it, and they did not.
Yeah, one of them was dyslexic, and he forgot that he was supposed to feed the poor cat.
Oops.
We'll leave it at that. It was an old cat, though, right?
Hey, no, it was just a kitten, small, tiny.
Well, he was like a year old, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was. I don't think it was quite a year old, but
God damn, that was just that was just a horrible tragedy right there.
In that same year,
rest in peace, hooligan.
There you go. Escaped. That tarantula escaped, and of course, who wants to go to sleep with a tarantula crawling around your apartment? It's got to be somewhere in there,
right?
Somebody had left the lid open, and At that time, I was immunology and genetics. I was really into the biology science part of my college experience. And I swear, I was all ready to go. I was ready to go over to the science lab, get some ether that we were using for the fireflies, and we were ready to open up that cat to find out if it had eaten the spider. I mean, nobody's going to go sleep in there with a spider flowing around, crawling around. Could be in your bed, could be in your shoe. Nobody wants that.
Was that Tarantula, Nikki Wicked? Was that the same one that crawled on your face and that guy named Tom was making you laugh? And you were trying your hardest not to laugh because it was right on your face like this? It was all tensed up, getting ready to bite. Is that the same spider?
Dumb guy or same spider too. Yep, you got it.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's pretty funny. Well, now it's pretty funny. So you asked about pets, and what was the other one?
Well, I lost Pixie about a year ago, and now I got little Daisy. Daisy, come here.
Daisy. I love Daisy.
You remember Daisy? She was here when you were here.
100% love Daisy. Hey, Daisy!
Hey, say hi. Look who's on TV.
Daisy
Look, right down there. Look who's down there. Look who's on the TV. Look.
Ooh.
Oh, she's looking outside. She's like, when do I get to go outside again?
Hey, come on.
All right, here you go.
Hey, so you mentioned pets, but there was one other thing you mentioned. Pets or what? What was the other one?
Tattoos.
Oh, tattoos. Yeah, I've got a trio. I'm getting ready to get my arms done now that I'm done teaching. I've kind of waited. All mine are kind of hidden. When I was 18, I got a little red, what's his name? Little Hot Stuff. That cartoon Hot Stuff back in Benedict time. Little devil, the horns, and I've got him holding the hockey stick. I've got that guy, my buddy's.
That's right. I remember that one. Yeah.
Then I've got all the produce and everything that's grown around here in Alaska. There's a logo that is called Alaska Grown, and I was born and raised here, so I've got that Alaska.
That would be fitting.
Tattooed on my.
My last one was this Minnesota one because I got that the same day as Metallica at the U.S. Bank Stadium. I got it because I missed my Grandpa Swent's, which happens to be in Iron Maiden lettering, of course.
Oh, nice.
Grandpa Swent's, and then two things I missed the most. So that was my most recent one there. But if you got an open heart, you should do it. My next one's going to be the cover of No Prayer for the Dying, like this, where the open graves come up, and then there's like an arm reaching up. I'm going to have that go right into mine, so that my hand is actually part of the tattoo, reaching up.
That's cool.
I see. Another idea. I've already seen somebody else who did this, but they had Ronnie James Dio right here, and he's stretching his arm out like this, and then it goes and it reaches out, and then so it's like you have the hand. You can move Ronnie James Dio's hand. Talk about sick, huh?
That is sick. Good ideas. That's important that they mean something to you. And the other one that I have in my most recent one, there's the biggest one that I've got is it's on my shoulder back here. It's a giant maple leaf, and my son, his name is Leaf, and I'm of course a Toronto Maple Leafs fan and a Wild fan, by the way. But it's got his birth date and a little. It says Papa Loves Leaf, and it's got some characters, some Japanese characters meaning mother and father and son, and it's kind of nice. In his birthday.
Is it spelled L-E-A-F or L-E-I-F?
Well, I tried getting the L-E-A-F version past his mother. Not happening. Well,
and it's funny because it's like, I assume the Toronto Maple Leafs get to use improper English just because they're Canadian/French, right?
Well, there's a whole story about that. Why it's not Leaves.
Not Leaves, yeah.
Yeah, not Leaves. There's a whole background to that.
Are they still in the playoffs? I hope.
Oh gosh, you had to bring that up. No, my nemesis again knocked them out.
Goddamn Boston Bruins.
Boston Bruins, Game 7 again.
Oh, I hate you, Bruins.
Game 7 overtime. Game 7 overtime.
God, how many?
7 games, yeah. Overtime
I was gonna say
again.
how many overtimes, but
Oh,
dude,
just one. Yeah.
apparently they haven't beaten Boston since 1959.
Yeah, sad
Son of a
statement.
bitch, dude. How are you supposed to move on? Oh wait, well they've gone on and been in the championship, right? They just wasn't a get. They just didn't have to play Boston, hopefully that year, right?
Right, 1967. It's the longest current streak in professional sports.
Well,
Major.
leave it to Minnesota. We'll top that eventually. How about any favorite movies and or favorite comedies?
I just saw the new Planet of the Apes movie. I really
Oh,
liked it.
really?
I thought it was great. Yeah, I'm not a giant fan of all that computer generated stuff, but I like those stories. I like the original
Yeah.
movies though too, so that's
Well,
pretty
yeah.
good.
Get your
I just heard
hands off you filthy ape.
Caesar, ape, not kill.
Right.
I just saw an announcement for the new Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movie, and I'm really excited about that. It's not Lord of the Rings. It's there's a game called The Hunt for Gollum, and that's what the movie is going to be. It's the whole story of where Gollum went between when he found the ring originally, and then years later, after his life had been extended because of the ring, then Bilbo found it, and when Bilbo left, then he left again, and then he was over with Sauron, and then it's just a map of where he went during all those times that he's gone, and then all of a sudden, in Return of the King, he just shows up and guides them to Mount Doom, right? So where did he go? All these, it's going to follow him.
I know where he went. He went to a Led Zeppelin show and they played Ramble On.
Ramble On!
Because of that, the lyrics in Ramble On from Lord of the Rings.
The Misty Mountain.
Yeah, and in the midst of Monta, I met a girl so fair.
There's a bunch. They have a few songs like that.
Swept up and ran away with her. Yeah, that's from Lord of the Rings in Ramble On.
That's great.
How about any favorite comedies? Mine is Dumb and Dumber. I can't help it.
Comedies? Well, my 2 favorite movies of all time are not comedies. One's the original Alice in Wonderland, Walt Disney animated version. Love that. And then my other favorite movie is Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory. So
sure.
Both of which I've seen triple digits now, both over 100 times, sad to say.
Nice.
Comedies, movies, I am a really big Michael Keaton fan.
Sure.
Older Michael Keaton before he became, kind of a more...
How about Night Shift?
Night Shift, that's the one. That's what I'm thinking of.
You like...
Yeah, you like...
How about we feed the tuna mayonnaise, and then there you go. You got your tuna salad sandwich already. You feed the tuna mayonnaise.
Call Starkist.
That's right.
I'm an idea man, Chuck. I'm an idea man.
That was great. I remember the scene in that movie was driving over a bridge, and they're playing the live version of Jumpin' Jack Flash from the Tattoo You tour, also from the record called crap, I can't think of the name of that live one. But either way, it's that live Tattoo You tour from '81.
That was really my first exploration. That started my exploration into Stones, was that film, because I never really listened to them. I was a Beatles guy, and so Stones, can't listen to them. That's not right. That's not cool. That's anti. You can't do it. So I never really listened to Stones until that movie, and then I kind of branched out. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and see, I got into it because of when Tattoo You came out and the song "Start Me Up," I was hooked on it. I heard it on the radio, and I actually bought that record at the age of 11, like within a month of it coming out. I also bought For Those About to Rock, like the first week it came out. I had a very generous grandma who would give me $10. She'd say, "Go over to the Pomida and buy yourself a cassette." Well, I was collecting AC/DC records at the time, so I got both those on vinyl each. I still got my original Tattoo You vinyl as well. But Tattoo You is my favorite Stones record. It was the first one that really got me into them. And I love everything else, but that's my favorite of all time. So
Nice.
And I yes, I did buy the new version of the deluxe version of Tattoo You. It comes with a whole extra record of stuff from the vault that never got released, and which is just as great. So, my favorite movie of all time is actually True Romance with Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette. Also, Dennis Hopper, Christopher Walken, Brad Pitt, Michael Rappaport, Tom Sizemore, Gary Oldman, Samuel L. Jackson, just to name a few stars that are in it. Oh, and Chris Penn. I mean, tons of James Gandolfini's in it. Yeah.
That reminds me too. Chris Penn. That's one of my favorite movies of all time, with Christopher Walken and both Christopher Penn and Sean Penn, with Madonna doing this main soundtrack for the title of the movie, At Close Range. Devastating drama. Oh,
was he still married to her at that time?
I don't think so.
Wow. But devastating. So did they play brothers in it, or just happened to be both in the movie?
They were brothers, and Christopher Walken was their dad. In a crime ring, and
what was it called?
At Close Range. I wouldn't watch it unless you're ready for
some real heavy shit.
Yeah, it was. Dude, it was fantastic.
Not to mention heavy shit. Sean Penn in the movie Mystic River. Holy shit!
It's the same thing. It's just about that same intensity. It's like
when he pressures. God damn! When he pressures Tim Robbins into saying it was him that killed his daughter, even though he knew it wasn't him, but he, just like cop interrogation, he finally said, "Yeah, it was me." It's like, dude, what are you doing? He's gonna kill you for saying that, so he kills him for nothing.
Nah, it was crazy.
By the way, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Too late.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you haven't seen,
hey, let me read you my new song, and we'll talk about a couple other things. Then we'll get you on guitar. Here's my new birthday song I wrote this past Wednesday, which was May 8th. I was born the same exact day that the Beatles released Let It Be. It's called Now I'm 54. Woke up in pain as many before. Another short year has flown out the door. Born on the same day as Let It Be. Been a little while since Morning Tree. Aches and pains are part of life, but no longer have a nagging wife. Gonna just grab what's laying near. 3 ibuprofens and a swig of beer. Grab a cold beer and turn on the game. Crank up the tunes, I don't want it tame. Tomorrow morning already brings me fear. 3 ibuprofens and a swig of beer. Hair of the dog can be quite handy. Big shot of Fireball gets me a little randy. Don't want to face myself in the mirror. 3 ibuprofens and a swig of beer. You know the old saying, a fool and his money are soon partying.
Yeah! There you go.
That was beautiful, dude. Thank you for that. You gave me goosebumps. You gave me goosebumps playing that. You really did.
That's great. By the way, all right, here it is. Here it is. Hopefully, it's not too horribly loud. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Lord Duncan. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Thank you very much, brother. I love you so much. My heart. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Cock and bull, Gingy.
Cheers, brother. Cheers. I'm doing the old oil can.
Nice.
Good old Foster's.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of hockey, after you played hockey for Augsburg, I believe you also had a career for a hockey team up there. Maybe you have a picture to show us.
That Let's go, Aces! I do have a picture. Well, I get a picture. I get a bunch of stuff. Alaska Aces.
Oh, cool. Alaska Aces.
Big giant flag.
That's a freaking awesome logo, dude. That's sick.
I used to have that.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I was the mascot for our professional hockey team, ECHL team, and I used to have that on the end of a big hockey stick, and I'd wear my big suit and skate out there onto the ice before the.
Well, there's a picture of you in the suit, ain't there?
There you go. There's me in the suit. Get it on there. There you go.
You pretty much had to skate. You had to pretty much skate blind, didn't you?
Yeah, there's a little area in the mouth. I don't know if I'm not doing a very good job of letting you see that, but yeah. Well, that's a great story, actually. I'll make it quick. How about this? I'm starting, and they pulled out all the stops for this thing. They were amazing. The Alaska Aces organization. They had these firework gerbs that would shoot these sparks out 30 feet out of your skates behind, and then hold them like this on these with these two big lightsaber looking, and you could catch on fire. I mean, it was horrible. They put this ether-based stuff on the ice that was so hot it actually had flames up above the ice. When they lit
my God.
I skated through that, it would set that thing on fire. A big A in the center of the rink. It was awesome. So when I first got the job, I'm up there going, holy shit, it's dark. First of all, it's dark out there. All the lights go out. And then there's this little hole that I'm looking at, and it's got this black mesh, so you can barely see anything at all. And I'm standing there going, what the hell did I get myself into? And this guy's strapping all these wires and hooking them. Okay, you're live now. Don't hit the switch. Oh, and I go, good. What? Do you have any recommendations? Any suggestions? Yeah. Don't fall. Whoa, what the hell? Oh, so on opening night, I get out, and the only thing that the guy, the previous boomer told me was, hey, you got to go counterclockwise when you get out through the edge, because the camera guy is going to be, there's going to be people coming. Everything's based on you going around counterclockwise. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can do that. So I went out there and I skated really fast, and I ended up the first night. I tripped. They didn't tell me there was a carpet for a puck drop across the red line. Oh. It's dark, and it was cancer night, so they painted the rink pink. I couldn't even see the ice was even white. It was terrible. So the next night I went back and decided to fool everybody, make fun of myself. So I did the same thing, and I skated out there. And when I got close to that carpet, I slammed the brakes on, and I gave the shh sign to everybody, and I tiptoed across the carpet and went, and everybody's like, yeah, awesome, Mita. And I skated around, and it was so cool. And I got an arrow out and kneeled down and shot a big giant arrow out. And on each corner of the rink, there's a spotlight on you. And all of a sudden, it got dark. And the next thing I know, I see the silhouette of a person in front of me. It was the cameraman who had come out from where I had entered, and his back was to me. He was getting ready to watch all the players come out. Wham! I slammed into that guy. He dropped the camera. The camera shattered into a zillion pieces on the ice. The guy had to have help getting off of the rink. He ended up, that was the end. Season was over. He ended up with a neck brace. Like maybe 2 months later, he came in to say hello to everybody. I hurt him. The camera was totally destroyed. $13,000 camera, totally destroyed. They had to stop the presentation of the game because all those little metal pieces from the camera, they got in the ice and they had to dig them out. And oh God, what a hell of a start to my mascot career.
And that was your first year?
That was my very first and second night that I did it.
Oh my God. Well, then at that point, did they realize we need to make this shit a little safer for people? Hello?
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Dude, that's an awesome story. Cheers to you, my brother.
Cheers. Yeah, that's pretty cool story, actually. Lots of famous people We had I don't know if you're a hockey guy, Ryan Reeves. He's played for just about everybody. Minnesota.
He was a
played
wild guy. He's a bruiser. Then he went back to the. I think he went to Toronto this year. I think didn't he? Done to Toronto.
Yep.
So,
He's Toronto. Yep.
I was so pissed we lost him.
The coach for a while was Brent Thompson. His kid's Tage Thompson, who's Buffalo Sabres phenom. And he played on the same team during that as the Bruins goalie Jeremy Swayman. They played here.
So you're saying Ryan Reeves and these guys, they all played for the Alaska team.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Chris Chelios, his kid.
Is that the same league as what used to be Denver Grizzlies and then I think became Utah Grizzlies?
Utah Grizzlies, yep. The Utah Grizzlies there.
I think Minnesota had a team called the Minnesota Moose until we got the Wild.
Yeah, they had a lot of the AHL teams now. They moved from the ECHL up to AHL, like Ontario Reign, the Utah Grizzlies, San Diego Gulls. All those teams are all ECHL teams. Pretty cool.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome. What about I remember you telling me something about you having to fill in for Great White. You're at the station. Tell me the story about the Great White story.
Oh, what a great story!
You had to sing with Great White.
Yeah, it was what a hoot that was. The band that I was playing in called Shattered Fear in the '90s and early 2000s. They were pretty popular around here, and there was a time when Great White was going to come up here and do a small show, and Jack Russell was not able to come up at the same time as the other guys. They came up a couple of days early in our local hard rock radio station, K-Whale. They invited these guys. K-Whale, KWHL, 106.5, K-Whale, true Alaskan, right?
Nice. That's great.
Those guys were going to go down and play in the bomb shelter downstairs. Hey, all right, they're going to play some tunes and stuff. Well, they were just going to do some instrumental stuff. So one of the guys who always radio guys, he came and saw us play a lot. He was like, "Oh, get that Jeep guy. Oh yeah, we'll get that Jeep guy to come in. That's it. This would be great. Yeah, blah, blah, blah." Okay. So I was teaching at the time. It was early. It was like 6:30. I had to be there in the morning. It was a super early show. And then they played it live and then they played it later again. But I had to have special permission to leave school or not be there in the morning and go do that and then come back. Well, I get there and the guy brings me down and goes, hey guys, hey, this is Jeep. And I'm like, hey guys, hey, how are you? And apparently
you were still in high school?
No. This was when I was teaching school.
Oh, teaching school. Okay, yeah. All right, never mind.
And apparently he didn't tell Great White that I was coming. So here I thought they already knew. And he goes, "Oh yeah, so this guy, he's best in Alaska, such and such, blah blah blah." And I'm thinking, God, you don't do that. That's a lot of pressure. Yeah. So Jack's not here. He's gonna sing a song or two with you guys. Is that all right? And I'm thinking, oh my God, they don't know. Oh shit. Oh, and then they kind of look at each other. Yeah, that's cool. And I'm thinking, oh my God. And I had learned a couple of songs, not learned, but really studied a couple of songs because it's Great White, right? Well, now that I know that they weren't even expecting me, I'm like, oh my God, I am not singing a Great White song. What do you want to sing? I'm like,
like Rock Me or
right, Rock Me, Save Your Love, something, whatever. I'm not going to sing that bullshit.
Once Bitten, Twice Shy.
There you go.
I forget the name of the guy who wrote it, but either way.
But I did something like that, and I go, oh, how about Wasted Rock Ranger?
That's right.
So
it was like a B-side. That
was a B-side. So I did Wasted Rock Ranger with Great White, and thought that was pretty cool. I got a that was really nice of them. And then, like a total nerd that I was, I had brought a Great White CD. Hey, guys, was wondering maybe a possibility to sign this. Sure. So I got everybody signed it. But
why not? Who wouldn't? I would do the same thing.
Heck yeah! So
you go meet Aiden, you got to get something signed or great white, whatever.
Yeah, I put that up. My friend's got a brewery here called Odd Man Rush Brewery, and I just let him have all my CD cases, and that one's in there. So they haven't been down there for 90 days yet. I mean, I just got them down there. Good thing they've got them all up on the wall. It's cool.
Stuff that's autographed and stuff.
Yeah, autographs. I've got Great White and Don Dawkin and just a bunch of stuff from over the years. Pretty fun.
Nice.
But it was great. It was great. I still have a recording of that. I'll send you a recording of that. It was pretty good.
Oh, I'd love to hear it. I remember hearing it once back at 1303, but I'd love to hear it again.
Back in the day.
And now what is it? I hear you've got Jeff Tate coming up there, and you might be opening up for Jeff Tate.
Yeah, I'm playing in a couple of different projects.
Right, ladies and gentlemen.
Quidstrike! We're getting these big name acts that are coming not to Anchorage, but to my little dinky town of Eagle River. We've got an outdoor, we've another brewery here in town, and they've got an outdoor stadium, not really a stadium, but a big stage that they've converted, and the big acts. Tesla and who do we just have? We had Queensryche last summer, I think, and now Jeff Tate's going to be coming. Lit, Body Count, Pop Evil, Three Doors Down. Those are all names from this summer that are coming. But Jeff Tate, they're looking to have some local people open for them, and I'm in a bar type cover band that's called Money Shot. And then this Dio tribute band. And I think the Dio
that's
tribute
a total
band,
AC/DC. That's a total title to an AC/DC song.
Yes.
That's totally AC/DC, the whole sex thing,
Oh, and we do a lot of AC/DC. A lot of AC/DC. It's pretty fun. Pretty good stuff. So that'll be fun. I'm excited for that. That's July 27th up here, and we'll see if that pans out. It looks pretty good, but we'll see.
Very nice,
We're hoping.
brother. Let me do a couple show and tells, and then we'll have you jump on your guitar. How about that?
All right. That sounds good.
So here was a Chris Brett's birthday present. If you can see it, you probably can't see it, but it says "Doomed Forever, Forever Doomed" on there. It's the second and third Sabbath records done by Zach Wild, called Zach Sabbath.
Zach Sabbath.
Beautiful purple vinyl.
Oh, nice.
Another nice treat. The last Slayer tour live. Double vinyl. And of course, that also has some cool colored stuff here. Weird colored vinyl. That's kind of odd, huh?
That is strange. It's like almost like not a camo, but some kind of a oil dripping something. I don't know. Mud puddle-ish.
Something weird.
That's freaky looking.
And then I also recommend this Bush Live for anybody who likes the band Bush. It's freaking every good song they ever did is on this double live Bush.
Hey, and as Lord Duncan says, you can't go wrong with Bush.
That's right. Absolutely. That's very right. And being that we grew up in the 80s, we know a lot of things about. We know what that's all about.
Oh, yes.
Nowadays, they're all bald.
Hail to the baldies. Hey. It was a potty break.
That's right. Now we are rolling again, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, we had Mother Nature called, so we had a little break that you didn't even miss.
Ooh.
But we got a nice treat for you, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Mr. GEEP BARANOW. He's going to play something on his little guitar over there. And are you going to sing too, or just play?
Oh, maybe I'll sing.
If you can sing and play that awesome Alice in Chains song, I would freaking absolutely. That would be the ultimate birthday present.
If I can remember the words, we'll see.
You know what? If not, what are you doing? You're gonna play the Kinks? She's a lady. She's one in a million.
No, I don't think so.
Play,
But
play that Dio intro again. It sounds funny.
for bang, kind of quiet. Boom.
Like a rainbow in the dark.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Yeah, we get a butt. That's gonna be fun. Should be good.
Nice.
I'm totally excited. Totally excited.
Are you guys gonna do that song when you open up for Jeff Tate?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
and you do you probably do Night Prowler towards the end. What other songs AC/DC do you play?
Well, this project is Dio tribute. It's all Dio. Rainbow in the Dark.
Cool.
Diver.
And Children of the Sea.
And Black Sabbath. And we're doing I think we're doing a rainbow tune and
which one? King of Rock and Roll or
King? Yeah, we're doing King of Rock and Roll. It's the King of Rock and Roll.
Nice. Yeah, otherwise you would think if it wasn't that, it would be don't say it, don't say it.
Don't say it. That's Paul McCartney.
The silver is in the title of that other rainbow.
What's the other one that there's I think when you're opening, you don't have a chance to play a huge set, so you get
Yeah, you just want to keep it at
9 songs at most. They want you to play about 40 minutes up here. 45.
What, 40?
Yeah. They're a little bit longer because it's outside, and then that makes for the the main act doesn't have to play quite as long. Hey, it's cold. It's still in the 40s here.
Right.
Tea will be up here in 2 weekends, and with body count, and it's cold up there.
It's probably like you better get at least 60, mofo.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, yeah, sure. I'll sneak in there. Let's see what I can do. Got to move some stuff around.
Right on. This could be awesome. Live from GEEP Studios.
Live from the Jeepster studio.
What's the name of the song again? I forget.
Nutshell.
Is that off of Jar of Flies?
It is. Uh-oh. See if this works. Oh, pop. I'm all out. Yeah, Jar of Flies. You can't disguise flies' eyes. There we go. That's really good for the speakers.
Oh, yeah, they love that.
All right. Well, hopefully I can remember the words. If not, that's all right. Chase me spring at light. Beats the path of time. And yet I fight this battle all alone. No one to cry to, no place to go. get thoughts of enslaved. My privacy is brave. And yet I find repeating in my head. If I can't be my own, I feel better dead. Here you go, my friend.
Dude, that was awesome. I took myself off, so it was just you for a good chunk of that. That was very beautiful, man. Thank you so much for playing that, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, at least I get most of the words right? You're welcome. Anything for Lord Duncan. Anything for Lord Duncan.
Well, you freaking nailed it, buddy. You got any words of wisdom before we wrap it up, at least for the recording part here?
Well, when I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. And, of course, the last bit of wisdom, which actually does come from me, don't let your meat loaf.
Very nice. I heard that as well. From another guest of mine said the same thing.
Very important.
And I will wrap it up here as well. You won't get the answer to it, but I will say the first part of it. This is what not to do if a bird shits on you. Good evening, everyone. Take care.